One thing, VAR, Martin Axon. You're trying to tell us that goals aren't goals and you're trying to screw us over, but guess what? Our team is way too good. You, man, can't do anything. VAR tried screwing us over, but guess what? The Mentality Giants were back at it again and we got the win. Hey guys, it's your boy Ojo Isame, and I've just watched Liverpool come back in like 8 minutes against Aston Villa. 1-0 down, making it 2-1. Sadio Mane with the winner, and this is my post-match analysis and reaction really. As you can tell, I'm very happy. I was just off the phone to my dad, and yeah, he couldn't watch the game. The stream just stopped working, and then he went out, and I just told him that we just went 2-1, and yeah, it was just absolutely crazy. But let's just get into the nitty-gritty of it, because the lineup, first of all, obviously, if some of you guys don't know, Fabinho wasn't able to play today. Well, he was able to, but it was a major risk if he actually was going to start, because he's on 4 yellows. So if he picked up a yellow today, he would have picked up. He basically would have been ineligible to play against Man City, which, as we saw last year, he was very important for us to actually, if we'd actually played Fabinho last year, we probably would have got a result against them. But, so obviously he didn't start today, so it was kind of weird looking at the lineup. I thought, personally, obviously you guys know, if you haven't watched my last video, I was at Anfield, and it was an amazing game. But going off the point, basically, Ox played, and he played very, very well. And especially with his performances against United, when he came off the bench, he looked lively, and even against a Genk, he played 3 very good performances. It looked like today was a perfect game for him to start, and but then he didn't. And it was a really weird midfield to be honest today. It was Lallana, Gini, and Henderson, which the workman midfield, or the Brexit midfield and stuff like that, they just don't work away from home. At home, it's fine, but away from home, they don't normally work. So it was kind of weird seeing that team line up. The rest of the team, it was Alisson, Robbo, same back four, obviously Lovren in defence, not Joe Gomez. Again, I understand. Joe Gomez did play well midweek, but I still don't know if it's the same Joe Gomez that we saw one year ago, to be honest. But I do hope that Joe Gomez does get into the lineup if John Matip's out for a very long time. But I would like to be patient with him because he's still quite young. But and then that front three, usual. But going into the game though, the first few minutes, it kind of, Aston Villa were there to cause troubles. I mean, there was the first chance where Van Dijk, there was a little mishap between Van Dijk and Mane, where Mane tries to, press him, and then Van Dijk leaves him, and then he gets past Mane, and then the shot gets straight out at Alisson. And then, but to be honest, there wasn't much in the first few minutes, and then 2 free kick. I think there was 1 free kick, which Mane, and then he gets another free kick, which then ends up being a foul. And and then 20 minutes in, they take a free kick, and then Trezeguet gets the goal. Now, regarding the goal, I think I've seen on Twitter and stuff about Henderson being able to track his man and stuff like that, which I understand, but at the same, me playing devil's advocate here, I kind of also think the way we play our defensive line, even if you look at all of our players, I just don't think he expected him to be able to make the run and stay on side, really, because most of the time when we do play a high line, we do manage to catch him offside. But this time round, Trezeguet, the rest of them were offside, but from Trezeguet, who was the one who scored. So the goal did end up getting allowed. But yeah, people didn't criticise Henderson for it, because I'm not Henderson's biggest fan, and I thought he played awful today. But I'll get into that. But yeah, I thought that he couldn't really do much because that was the system. The system, literally, one block, you stay still, because if he had tracked his runner, he could have messed up the whole thing. So there's that as well. So I just thought, it was a good, Aston Villa did well, really. But then we had a few chances. I think Sadio Mane with one header, cross from Jordan Henderson, should be scoring it. We had a few chances as well. There was one with Salah when Mane plays it into Salah. Salah just blazed it over the bar. The front, it just wasn't working. The midfield wasn't working. And then there was this... it was fraudulent. It's either corruption or it's or just stupidness from referees. I think it's a bit of both. But the ball is from the left hand side. It gets crossed into Firmino, and Firmino just hits into an empty net. Goal, looks like a goal. You watch it on the stream or whatever, and you say, yeah, that's a goal. But then VAR does a check. You look at it first time round, and the way it's lined up, it says, oh, it looks onside. And then next thing you know, a few minutes later, they're still doing the check, and then they say it's offside when it's blatantly onside. Yeah, it was just stupid in my opinion. I think at half time they said that his armpit was offside, but then at the same time, let's say for example he did score with his armpit. So say for example he scored here, they'll give it as handball. So again, how can you say that's offside? Because I'm pretty sure if Firmino, the ball was crossed a bit higher and it hits Firmino right here. If it hits him right here, 100% they'll give it as handball because the ball's going to touch it. So again, I don't understand how that was, on the replay, the first one, before they started doing that BS checking and stuff, because they kind of like, if I don't know if you guys have watched it, but they do the check, he's onside, and then they check it again, and then they make it seem like he's offside, but he blatantly is. But yeah, like that was the thing. So the only part of his body that was actually offside was his hand. Obviously, if you guys know about football, which if you're watching this video, of course you do, you cannot shoot with your hands. You cannot score with your hands unless you do a mad throw from a goalkeeper. Only way you're able to score from your hand, and that would be like a 100-yard throw. So again, there's no reason why his hand should be part of the, so it was basically a legitimate goal. And also I kind of think if the offside rule, part of me is like, if the body that you score with, so say for example his head is on offside and he scores with his head, then yeah, it's offside. But if his head's just marginally offside and he scores with his right foot, then what's the difference? And that's personally my opinion. Obviously, the rules are the rules, but that was not offside. So we played very poorly in the first half anyway. I felt the midfield didn't help out the attack, which wasn't good anyway in the first half. But I felt like the midfield did not help the attack whatsoever. There was so many times where Firmino was literally right beside Lovren and Van Dijk, which we know he's good at dropping deep and all of that, but that is way too deep. But yeah, he was just, it was really sad, to be honest. I think Mane was off it first half. There were so many times when his passing was just out of place, and then there was the whole diving thing as well, which gave him a yellow card, and then he wasn't able to press as much as he could, because I was actually thinking like he could potentially get a red card. But and then Salah doesn't look fully fit. If I'm being perfectly honest with you, it still looks like that ankle injury that he got from Leicester. It's still lingering, and to be honest, if I'm being, I hope he doesn't play against Game. Just rest him for till the City game. Let him rest for a week, and just I that's my opinion anyway. But we're going to so I just thought fullbacks were brilliant though, and so was Van Dijk. Lovren just didn't really. He was just there. He was fine. Didn't do much wrong. Fullbacks were good, but again, they couldn't do much. But then the second half came on, and I think Liverpool Twitter was just in a complete meltdown for in the first half. I thought at half time, Ox was the bare minimum who should have came on. Ox had to come on just so that the midfield, and I thought maybe KR, but I can understand why not. But Ox had to play from the 45th minute onwards. But yeah, it was just everybody's going meltdown saying, oh, the referee decisions aren't going to go away. We're going to lose and all of this. And I was in one of a few group chats and I was just saying that, look, Liverpool have been screwed up many times. We've been down so many times, but we still managed to get... look at the Leicester game, for example. There's so many games, even the game on Wednesday, for crying out loud. Our youth players, 4-2 down, they make it 4-4, and then 5-4, and then in the last minute they get a goal. Obviously it was Origi, but Nico Williams manages to get the cross in. So, this team is full of big, people, mentality giants, as Klopp says. But we get into the second half, and from the first minute, I'm not even going to lie to you, we look so much better. We had made no substitutions. I don't know what Klopp said in the second half, but at half time, but we looked so much better. We just The fullbacks were pushing up a bit more. Even Gini Wijnaldum was actually pushing up a bit more, because in the first half it just looked like the three in midfield, none of them were there to support the attack. But then there was a few chances where Gini Wijnaldum had a shot, it was a bit tame. Then Mane had one, he went straight at the keeper, and then yeah, we just looked so much better. And then but I still had my frustrations with Jordan Henderson today. There was one chance in particular that, if you look to my Twitter, I was really annoyed, because I tweeted out like we're scrapping, basically. I wouldn't fight the guy, because there was one chance where it was literally a 3v2 situation with literally Henderson does brilliantly to get the ball back. 3v2 situation, you got Salah there free, and you got Mane there free at the back post. Yeah, so Salah is the easy option, easy pass. You just got to pass it to him. He can turn and shoot. That's fine. Then he runs, he delays it. And I'm like, okay, if you're delaying it, please pick out a good pass. He picks out the worst pass. He passes it to one of the two. There's two defenders and there's two Liverpool players, and he passes it to the Aston Villa player. So I don't know. That was really annoying, especially at the time. We're 1-0 down. They were parking the bus. But then we kept on pressing. There was a brilliant chance. I think who crossed it in? I can't remember. On the right hand side, there was a chance where it was literally similar to the goal, but it was in an outswinging cross from the right hand side. I think maybe from Trent or Henderson, and then Sadio Mane gets the header, and I thought goal. But then Tom Heaton decided to become his 2017 self, and decides, I don't know if you guys remember the save that he made against Zlatan Ibrahimovic when Zlatan does the bicycle kick. And then, yeah, he literally does that brilliant save. Couldn't really fault that. And then, the game started again. Everybody starts getting more frustrated. And then there was a brilliant chance. I think this was later on. But anyway, before I get into that, the substitutions afterwards. We decided, I can't remember what minute, but we decided to sub off Gini Wijnaldum and Salah. Salah, I thought was brilliant. I thought that was brilliant for them to sub off Salah. He didn't look fit, and Origi is Mr. Clutch. So as we saw on Wednesday, and then any of the midfield, honestly, I would have taken off any of them. They could have chosen any of them, but probably, I don't know. I didn't, the midfield. I just wanted Ox to come on. I didn't mind who came off. I just wanted Ox to come on. As long as it wasn't for one of the other attackers like Mane and Firmino, I just wanted one of the attackers to come on. But then, and then from the first minute, literally, Ox comes on, and we look. I know I said we looked better in the second half, but we looked 10 times better as soon as Ox came on. And I thought this game was perfect for him. You could see, literally, within minutes of coming on, he gets the ball and just drives and then shoots. It gets blocked. What does he do? Gets the ball again, tries to shoot, and then what? The ball gets blocked again. He tries to shoot again. That is the drive, and that's what we need in an attack. Somebody from midfield, and to be honest, we haven't had a play like that since Coutinho. And Ox he's the last 10 days he scored 3 goals from outside the box. Similar to what Coutinho used to do. I'm not saying he's because when Coutinho, before he left, he was world class. He was on the next level. But Ox is in that similar style of player. Coming from deep, driving and getting shots off and stuff like that. But yeah, I just thought we looked so much better as soon as Ox came on. And then I think when Ox did come on, it looked like we reverted to a 4-2-3-1. And we looked so much better. We had more control, but then there was one chance where this was still at 1-0 to Aston Villa, where Firmino does well on the right hand side, and then Lallana cuts it back, and he should be scoring. Like, honestly, he should be scoring that. I think he got his footing wrong, and that's why he drags it wide, but it was a chance that he should have scored, if I'm being perfectly honest. So we just kept on making chances, and then there was one. Speaking of VAR and Martin Atkinson just being an absolute beep. Literally we do brilliantly to there was loads of chances on that left hand side, and then Ox, the ball gets flicked up, and Ox goes for like the half volley shot, and hits, I don't know whose hand it hits, but it hits someone's hand. Blatant handball. I watched it not without the replay, and I was like, I'm pretty sure that's handball. Saw the replay, and I was like, hell yeah, that's handball. I mean, the whole thing, he had, if you guys haven't seen, so imagine, let me look for a prop. So this Yeah, imagine this is a ball. Obviously, it's not a ball, but imagine it is. So, Ox takes a shot. The person in the box's hand is out like this, albeit he's probably like this far away. He's quite close, but his hand is like that. His hand is out in an unnatural position, and ball smacks him right in the palm. So that's a handball, but they didn't even check VAR for it, which I just find weird. I don't think they did anyway. I don't remember them checking VAR for it, but it was a blatant handball. So again, I do question the referee's decisions. But yeah, so that happened, and it just looked like it wasn't going to go away. And then later on in the game, I think Trent, who was brilliant in the second half, by the way, the crosses he was getting in, the balls that he was fizzing in, beautiful. But then, and then we get the ball on we get dispossessed, and then a counter-attack happens. And I was hand in mouth moment because Lovren gets done, and then it was a nice 1-2, I think, and I thought he was going to chip him. But then he passes it back. Alisson, 1-on-1, he passes it back across for an open goal, and then Virgil van Dijk with a clutch last-ditch challenge to get it away, and we carry on the attack. I don't even know what the stats were, but let me actually have a look now, because first half, I know for a fact we had about 75% possession. But yeah, it was just all a bit mad because, let me just check quickly because, let's see. Sorry about this. Alright. Yeah, so the stats for the game, Liverpool, this kind of shows how inaccurate we were with our shooting, because there was even one with Mane where he was literally free in the edge of the box and he just blazed it wide and over. But we managed to have 25 shots, 6 on target, compared to Aston Villa's 5 shots, 2 on target. We had 74% possession, 3 times the amount of passing, 83% pass accuracy, which actually, yeah, and 58, they had 58. You can kind of tell, even from these stats, we had 10 corners, we were just so dominant. I haven't even looked at XG, to be honest. But then the big chance happens. Sadio Mane gets the ball on the right-hand side, and as I said, it was very similar to the chance Mane had, but this time instead of a right-footed cross, it was a left-footed cross. Left-footed cross into Andy Robertson, and Andy Robertson just, Scott's Braveheart, Mr. Braveheart himself, just gets his neck muscles in and just bullet header right on the forehead. You know when you hit it right on the forehead and it's just sweet, that sweet header. That's what he did. Tom Heaton tries getting he gets a hand on, well, he does get a touch onto it, but the ball's already in the back of the net. It is 1-1, 87th minute, and game is back on. We needed that one goal. That's all we needed. I had a feeling that we could do it, and I know that sounds mad, like, oh yeah, but the way Liverpool move, especially in the last minutes of the game, I hate to say it, but it reminds me of Manchester United when they had Fergie. I remember the 08-09 when they had like players like Makeda scoring and all of this. Like those guys knew how to do it last minute. I remember Chicharito was like, he literally came off the bench. He was their Origi essentially. But we kept on getting chances. Lovren gets a header from I think it was from a corner, heads it wide, and we just kept on pressing. These guys weren't getting anything with the ball. And then we get a free kick. I think Ox drives in, and then from about 20 yards, gets fouled from behind. And then Trent, on his 100th appearance, gets a free kick. Takes it, and I thought it went over. And I was like, God damn it, for God's sake. Over, game over, that's it. But then, apparently, it takes a deflection, actually, and then it's a corner for Liverpool. And then I think, everything goes blurry from here. But we get the ball from the corner. First one goes out for another corner. It was taken on the left-hand side. The next one gets taken on the right-hand side. And then, okay, if I had to say what that goal reminded me of, which is not Liverpool-related whatsoever, but that goal reminded me of Manolas versus Barcelona. Because that was last minutes of the game, absolute madness. But anyway, ball gets crossed in from Trent. And then the boy, Sadio Mane, who, if you look at the stats, goal and assist, makes him look like he had a fantastic game. Albeit second half he was much better. But he was not good in the first half, especially. and he was a bit, finishing wise, he wasn't that good. But gets a goal and assist, and what a header. To be honest, when that goal went in, I thought Origi got a touch onto it, and I was about to go even more crazy. But we managed to get it. I was going, you see that door there with the Liverpool, you see that? Yeah, that door there was, I went out. I literally just did a lap around my apartment, and I was screaming, shouting. I'm sorry to all my flatmates, but yeah, absolutely madness. And yeah, as I said, VAR tried killing us today. They tried, but they didn't prevail, because at the end of the day, what happened? We ended up getting a win. We had 2 decisions that didn't go our way, but guess what? We still got the win. So let me go into player ratings. Alisson was, I feel like he could have done a bit better for the goal, but it was quite close. But all around, his distribution was good. I'm going to say about 7 out of 10. Then Robertson and Trent, I'm giving them both a combined 9. Yeah, both of them 9. Reason being, I thought both of them were just brilliant. Robertson obviously gets the goal, but overall he was brilliant. Trent manages to get assists, but again, overall brilliant. They were fizzing balls in. They were always an option out wide, as they always are. Best fullbacks pairing in world football. Don't care, don't at me. It's chalk and cheese now. Simple as. And then Virgil van Dijk, he was good, and he stopped us from going 2-0 down. So 8 out of 10, easily. I could be very 8 out of 10. Lovren was calm as well, very good. 7 out of 10. You know what? Let me give Van Dijk 9 and Lovren 8. Yeah, screw it. Liverpool 1. No, actually, screw that. Robertson and Trent both get 10s. I loved them today. Absolutely brilliant. So midfield now. Lallana, I thought he was alright. Didn't really do much wrong, to be honest. There was a few times where he got dispossessed, but the way he plays, he's going to get dispossessed a few times. But I thought it was alright. I just felt like he could have gone up a bit further up the pitch. But again, I'll say 6.5 out of 10. He was alright. And then we had Henderson. For me, this is very harsh, about 4. Today, I didn't think he was good. I felt like he's much better than what he was today. Yeah, so 4 out of 10. May seem a bit harsh, but it's my rating. So you guys can disagree with me. Put it down in the comment section below, but I thought it was a 4 out of 10. Gini Van Alden looks a bit better in the second half, to be honest. But again, was just he's probably the one that suffers the most from Klopp's system, because obviously we know what type of player he is for Holland. So, but again, no excuses. But again, he was pretty average. So I'll say 6 out of 10. Now the front three, Salah didn't do much. I'm going to say 5 out of 10. He didn't look at his best. Had a few chances and just hoofed him over the bar. Yeah, wasn't at his best. And personally, out of the front three, I thought Firmino was the best one. Was always an option, always there to pass. So yeah, I'll probably say Firmino 8 out of 10. And then I have to, Mane got a goal and assist, so I have to give him an 8 out of 10. But I thought overall, he wasn't that good. If he didn't have those goals, then it wouldn't have been a good performance personally. But I don't care, because he ended up getting a win. And then with the subs benches, Ox 8 out of 10, don't care. Changed the game, was so good. Same with Origi, he did very well at the end to get the ball from the corner flag, bring it out. Some people would attack, but he knew what to do, because he's Mr. Clutch. Came in the corner flag, got a foul, brilliant. Screw it. 27 out of 10 because it's difficult, Origi. And then Naby Keita was, just there just to control the tempo, was alright. So I'm going to say 6 out of 10. But yeah. Oh, you know what? That's the end of the... I am just absolutely gassed. I've witnessed Liverpool score 2 last-minute goals in 3 days. 1 at Anfield. I was there. If you haven't watched the video, please make sure to check it out. I'll leave it at the title card, whatever. And yeah, and then today, Sadio Mane. This is absolutely insane. VAR, you cannot stop us. We are still going. I know City won, but guess what? They still got players. We're still 6 points ahead. We're on 31 points. Liverpool, the mentality giants, back at it again. And hopefully, next week, we can get that win against City. It's your boy, Ojo Sam here. And I hope you guys have a very nice day. Because again, I certainly did. Bye.